Guys, Scott Martindale here with Blended Kingdom Families. We are so excited to welcome a very, very special guest, Dr. Cassie Reid. It is amazing to have you with us at Blended Kingdom Families.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. So excited. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. And just to tell you a little bit about Dr. Reid, author, professor, mom, all of these amazing things. We are just absolutely thrilled to talk to you a little bit about counseling, obviously during this COVID season, and talk about your new book that just came out, Open the Gift of Holiday Sanity.
Yes.
Love the title.
Thanks.
Absolutely amazing. So if you can, just tell us a little bit about you, Cassie, your counseling practice, and then obviously about your new book.
Sure. I've been counseling for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a private practice in Southlake, Texas called Cassie Reid Counseling. And from that, I was approached by the King's University, which we know and love so much. That's kind of how we met.
Yep.
And I am the director of marriage and family therapy. So there's a master's program there that I was able to start from zero, which was...
Started the whole thing.
The whole thing. They trusted me.
It's a whole new level of amazing.
So I know.
They
trusted me with that. And so just so cool, just to see it grow. And then, so I'm a professor there, and I've been there 7 years, 6 full-time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm married, been married for 14 years to James.
He's wonderful.
He is.
He's such a good dude.
I'll keep him.
Yeah.
For sure. So we are a blended family, which is why I love this. So thank you.
Yes.
Like I love, we're a blended family. So I have a 16-year-old who was from his previous marriage. So she calls me her Cassie. It's so sweet. Like we've never kind of pushed that, but it's been so cool. And then we have a daughter who is 4. Emerson. So my oldest daughter is Lundy, and then Emerson is 4. So she's a firecracker. They are fun.
I have a 4-year-old too. So
you know.
It's all kinds of fun.
So I wrote this book. It's interesting for us to be talking about this with our topic because I wrote this
Wonderful
book.
book.
Oh, thanks.
It is so amazing.
Yeah, I wrote it because I was mad at my sister. In the holidays, I was like, I'm mad. And so I just started writing one morning, and the Holy Spirit was like, let me talk to you about that. And so I just posted on Facebook, you know, our new channel. The thing that we do is we post on Facebook. I posted on Facebook, and it just kind of went viral. People were like making word graphics with things I'd said. So then it evolved. But the reason I'm talking about it now is this feels like the holidays.
It absolutely does. You're kind of like stuck inside. You're with your family. There's really, everything's closed.
Yes.
This might as well be Christmas
You're
Day.
You're baking, having donuts, like we're talking about this, like eating badly. Yeah, and a lot of family time.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and there's a lot of different great nuggets in this book.
Thanks.
As you, the author, as you look at it and you say, hey, audience, I really hope that you gain this out of this material. What are you hoping to message you're hoping to send? What do you hope people gain from reading it?
You know, really, I hope people gain hope.
Yeah.
Because there's hope for family.
Yeah.
There's hope for people in families when you let the Holy Spirit lead you.
Wonderful.
And I think that's really what the book is. It's short chapters with questions for the Holy Spirit. Because sometimes we look at our family and we're like, oh my gosh, they're never going to change. At least for me, I'm like, oh, it's always going to be like this. But in reality, it's like, no, the Holy Spirit wants you to thrive in family. Yeah. You just may have to set healthy boundaries. But, you know, and so there's hope.
Absolutely. Well, I want to encourage everybody to grab this. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon.
And it's a wonderful book. Unwrapped, Open the Gift of Holiday Sanity. I love the title.
COVID Sanity,
COVID
if you
Sanity.
Want to change it.
Absolutely. Well, Cassie, Dr. Reid, uniquely, you and I are both counselors. We're both LPCs. You're currently in private practice. I am taking a little hiatus from private practice. But we both appreciate the value of counseling. Yeah. We both see the tremendous benefit that families can obtain from that. But some of those who may be watching today, it may be something that's been this elusive thing for them. I know as counselors, we look at it and we get these questions sometimes of, oh, you're going to counseling. Oh, that's further down the line for me. I'm not quite at that level yet. So a lot of families look at counseling like it's something that we have to be in super bad shape to go do. But I want to just hopefully demystify some of that right now and talk a little bit about why counseling is effective for families and about that process. So as a counselor, what would you say, why is counseling effective for families?
Because when you're in a system, like when your family kind of does things a certain way, maybe generation after generation after generation, having someone who's objective come into your sphere and say, hey, why are you doing it like that?
Yeah.
Or, hey, wait a minute. Now, how's that working for you? Or just kind of like break up the system.
Yeah.
It's powerful to let someone into that. Plus to let someone just even hear prophetically or see what is going on with dynamics, or, hey, that's really not normal.
Yeah.
Or, hey, that's super normal. Like,
Yeah.
you're not weird.
Exactly.
Like, that's a lot
Yeah.
of families struggle with that. Just to have that affirmation and that normalization, which is kind of the therapeutic word, is so powerful.
Well, and how many examples do we see of families who stay closed and they keep their bubble inside their house? People always talk about, my house looks beautiful from the outside. But the truth of it is there are some things that could be improved within the family dynamic. But if you keep that door closed, if you constantly don't open the window to start getting somebody pouring into you or somebody helping you through that process, it may not ever get better. It may actually get worse over time. So for those who are wondering, I love the idea. I don't even know where to start. Like, where do we even start the process? I know I want to help our family. I know that our family needs help. But where do we go? What do we do? How do we even start?
That's a great question. I think this sounds really, this may be a different answer than you were expecting, but I think you start with your church.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is a lot of churches vet counselors in their area. So wherever you might be watching, like, they're going to say, okay, here's some people that we've met, some people that we like. So that's a great place to start because they're going to already have a list of folks. Some people like to start with their insurance panel. They like to say, okay, like, who's on my insurance? Let's take a look. But what I do for a lot of friends and a lot of folks is look at their insurance panel. Is to say, okay, who do I know on here? Sometimes it's asking. Asking friends that you know have gone, hey, how was your experience with Jane Doe? How was your experience with Scott Smith? Like, did you like them?
Absolutely.
I think credentialing is a huge thing. And I'm really kind of a stickler for that. Someone who's licensed through the state. I think that's really important.
And there's a big difference between somebody, and we see this happening more often, these quote, life coaches, which are not counselors.
They're not.
They're not. They may be good people and they may mean well, but they're not clinically trained as counselors.
Well, and I always tell my students, I've gone to 11 more years of school than they have. So it's like I've had a lot more specialization. And so I hate to say look for someone with a PhD, but sometimes that's helpful, depending. Look for someone with a specialty. Like for you could hang a shingle with blending families, and that would be just amazing for people to come meet with someone who's been a blended family, who knows about that, who's passionate, called to that. Like, you'll see that in their website. I always go to their website, read, see if you can find some things that they've written or things like testimonials. That's always good. But do a little research and don't always feel like you have to stick with the person you pick. Yeah,
it's very big. The other thing that I would add is even when you're talking, like that initial first conversation with a counselor, usually done by the phone, so you're calling them up maybe to schedule an appointment. I think it's always clear just to tell them, a little snippet about what's going on in your family, and then maybe ask that specific question. Is this something you feel comfortable working with?
Great. That's such a good question.
I know for me as a counselor, I don't work with little kids. I don't know why. It's just not my thing. So there are certain counselors that will have that forte and that gift and have that special training. But you have to be proactive in that process of finding the right person. And I love what you said. Even if you find a counselor and you may go a couple of sessions, it may not be the right counselor for you. Don't feel discouraged in that process. Know that you're on the path to finding healing. You just may not have found that right person just yet. So don't be discouraged.
And don't quit going.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, don't quit going.
Well, and on that subject, once somebody is going, what can they expect to gain out of the process? I think a lot of people look at that question and go, I know what I would want. And you may not get that in session 1, 2, or 3, but what do you think families, individuals can expect to gain through that process?
That's a great question. I think one of the things that hits my spirit really to say is like, you get out what you put in. And I think that's a hard thing because sometimes I'll have people come to my office and they'll be like, here,
Yeah.
fix it, you know, and it's like they'll dump it out, or here's Susie, or here's Johnny, you know, fix them. And it's like, no, you get out what you put in. And so I feel like that one, you can get out establishing goals with the person.
Yeah.
I love to establish goals with my clients so that you have a set point that you agree on as a team. And you say, okay, we're both going to be working. I as the counselor and you as the client are going to be working together for these things. And so that's really good because then you know, you can expect that we're on the same page. I think you can expect to get perspective, insight, hopefully revelation, comfort, just even someone to say, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. That is a powerful statement that we're bad at saying. So it's good. Like, just to have someone who empathizes, a place to listen, just to like get it all out, and someone will hear you and either affirm, at least for me, I'm going to affirm, or I'm going to tell you, you better figure that out.
Well, and it's not often that you can enter into any type of relationship, have a platform to just speak and be in an atmosphere where that person is really trying to help you, not trying to gain something for themselves, but just trying to help you. It's so rare in our human interactions, our human relationships, that we have that opportunity. The counselor-client relationship is truly special.
It is.
It is so special and it is so unique. And I wish everybody could experience that, because it's something we don't experience in our daily lives with our normal interactions. It's not the same. So being able to have somebody you can talk to, not be judged, but be looked at as, I want to help you. I want you to achieve your goals. So let me do whatever we have to do. Another thing that somebody may be thinking is they have a family situation, but the other family member or whoever, they won't go. So I get a lot, I've heard this a lot, is can I have an effect if I just go by myself? Let's say we do have a family dynamic. There's something going on, whether it's a blended family or a marriage conflict, but I'm the only one who wants to go. What happens in those situations? Can they go alone, and can they be benefited?
Yes. I'm looking at you and saying, yes, you can. You can. And I think there's power. Change is not necessarily have to be for two people. Like, I'm married, been married for 14 years. And it's like one of those things that I can check my stuff out. Whether he has stuff or not, I still can be working on what is it in my life, what is it in my sphere. So yes, you absolutely can. And sometimes what I find with couples or with families is they see the health, they see the wholeness that comes through you, and then ultimately they're like, wait a minute, I want a bit of that, you know, and then it might ease them into being part of it.
It's wonderful, and I love the encouragement, and I want to just repeat that. If you're in that situation and you're feeling like, I really need counseling, but my spouse won't go, or I can't get my entire family to go, I encourage you to go alone. Go to help yourself. You would be amazed at, as you start to heal, what that healing will do for your family. So wonderful nuggets there. Dr. Reid, we're also in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. We're filming this in April. We're right in the heat of this. And obviously a lot of light is being shined on mental health right now. I think what we're experiencing is unprecedented. We talk about it as relation to the holidays, but even during the holidays, you can go to the movies on Christmas Day. A lot of families do that. They're like, we've been in the house forever. We're going to the movies. But right now we can't do that. And we are seeing unprecedented levels of some mental health issues that are going on. So I want to touch on that from a counseling perspective. First of all, a lot of folks may not know or be able to pick up on the signs that something really bad is happening. So for those who are in that storm, what can you suggest that they look for in terms of warning signs that it may be time to start looking for some help?
I think one of the first things is triggers. Like, we all have triggers and things that kind of get us, but when you find that that's happening more frequently, I think that's a great sign. Like, what I say to people is, when your level of emotion is not matching the situation, that's a sign.
When my
anger, I drop something on the floor,
Yeah.
and my anger is at a 10, I'm like, that shouldn't be happening like that. There's something more, you know? I think when you see a dynamic, like in your family, you've been kind of trapped and you're like, maybe you see two of your kids who are just, wow, like they're really kind of going at it more than normal. Like, wonder what's going on there. Or, you know, if you find that you and your spouse keep coming around the same mountain with the same subject, it's like, we might need someone to come in and interject and have a say there. I mean, I think if you find that there's a topic that you've really hit and you've pressed in, you've maybe read some things about it, you've asked the Lord about it, you've done a lot about it, but you just can't find breakthrough, I think that's a great time to pursue it.
Absolutely. And I love what you said. You know, we're prone to be in this cycle of patterns. You know, we get up, we get dressed, we go to work, we come home, we interact with our children, we have dinner, we go to bed. Right now, our whole entire pattern system is off.
Yeah.
So you're right in saying, you know, when you see those things happening more frequently and you're starting to notice them, it's partly because you're in that same environment all the time. And so you're getting more access to that. And absolutely, spousal problems, things that continue to come around. Love that. We're also seeing heightened levels of anxiety, depression. I mean, there's loneliness, a lot of different dynamics of families watch our podcast. So for those who are in those seasons of depression or loneliness or feeling not only anxiety, but just fear. I mean, if anything that I could say is the overlying atmosphere during COVID-19 is there's this fear of, can we ever be normal again? So as you would talk to those folks who are experiencing those levels of symptoms, what advice or what path would you give them?
You know, I would say to you directly is that the enemy loves nothing but isolation. So like in this moment, if you're feeling that, if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling anxiety or you're feeling just loneliness, that's the very thing that he would want to do is make you be like, it's not a big deal. It's not that bad. Just chill. No worries. But the fact is, like, that's all the more reason why to tell someone, to get some counseling, to find an accountability partner, somebody, a mentor, a friend, someone that you can be like, you know what? I've had some dark thoughts. I've had some very fear-filled thoughts. And, you know, I think you and I were talking a little bit about this, but even like journaling, like get it out of the inside of you, you know, if that means you type it, you know, if that means you write it, if that means you vlog it, maybe you just record yourself just getting it out, whatever way it takes, just to get that from out on the inside. There's power in bringing something to the light.
I love the idea of journaling. One of the other things I even do myself when I have negative thoughts or fear-based thoughts, you know, and I know folks who, you know, when you have kiddos, you get fear-based thoughts, and they're thoughts of some of the worst things that can happen. For me, it's a declaration statement. I literally say in my head, devil, you have no place in my thought today. Good. My realm of my feelings belongs to Jesus Christ, and that is the only person that I'm going to listen to right now.
That's so good.
It doesn't stop them from coming back sometimes, but it does give me a peace of mind of who's in control, who is the determiner of my future. And you're right, the devil loves isolation, not only in this time, but it could be in times when you were just isolated. When it's that time before you go to bed, it's that time when the doors are closed and you're alone. That's when that crack in the door is there, and the devil comes right in and he jumps in your thoughts. So journaling, declarations, accountability partners. You brought that up. I think a lot of people and adults, and I'm going to talk for men for a second. Men have a hard time with friends.
Yes. Yeah.
We are not great adult friends, and I know it's weird, but men are just weird like that. We once we get into our adult life, it's not easy, and we don't generally communicate a lot with our guy friends. But I think that we can learn something from our wife partners here, because I think maybe y'all a little bit better at communication. But as accountability, I think it's something that we can be very direct about. It's not something you have to call and be like, hey, I just wanted to call and chat. More of the conversation of, I'm really hurting here, and I need somebody to be an accountability partner for me. So talk a little bit about what is an accountability partner? How is that beneficial?
You know, I love that you said that about men. I really do, because I think I've watched, just being married, I've watched my husband sort of not struggle. I hate that word, because it's not that he's a great guy, great friend, super personable, but it's like just that of like, hey, are we going to talk about cars and sports, or are we going to like talk about life, like real life, you know? I think one of the things that's crucial is you have people sort of in, I don't want to say silos, but I have a group of people that I call my iron. Like, and that's like what their name is to me. That's like their people. And so they're people that I could call and be like, today is awful. And they would be like, okay, let me hear talk to me about why. So we talk about why, and they'd be like, okay, you're ridiculous. Or they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pray right now. We're going to stop right now. We're going to ask the Holy Spirit about this. You know, so they're just real friends that we can talk about silly things, but really our conversations are much more focused on what the Lord's doing, what the Lord's saying, like things that are more serious, I guess. And I think you have your friends, you kind of have to realize that there's levels of friends. Like there's some friends that are just fun friends, but you're not going to be the person that I'm going to call when I'm struggling with COVID-19 anxiety. Like you're just not going to be my person for that. So I think it's being authentic. The more authentic you are as a friend, the more authenticity you're going to have in return.
Wonderful.
People give and take, you know. You know that friend who's always coming. Oh, Scott, you're a counselor. Let me tell you all my things. And then you're like ready to share something like, oh, I got to go real quick. Sorry. You know? So it's a give and take of it.
No, I love that. And I think that you're absolutely right in the sense of we need that accountability partner. But in order for accountability to be had, you have to be able to open those doors and say, I want you to hold me accountable. And I'm giving you that access because I trust you. So if you're in that environment and you're struggling and you're like, I just need somebody to talk to, that first step may be looking at your phone of numbers, looking down there and going, okay, who am I going to be real and raw with, and who am I going to ask to be that accountability partner? And there's nothing wrong with starting that conversation of, I need some help. I want an accountability partner during this time. I know that we're both also in blended families. So that brings a really interesting dynamic to how we're dealing with COVID-19. I'm so grateful that this is not going to be our only segment. So we're going to talk in another segment about specifically COVID-19, working with blended families during this time. So if you're listening to this and you're in that situation, please stay tuned for that next episode because it's going to be wonderful. I want to end our first with hopefully some nuggets of encouragement. So what you can say to our audience that is what's on your heart to encourage them during this time, whether it be about counseling or COVID-19 or your amazing book or you as a counselor and as a professional who wants to help people. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to our audience and tell them how you would encourage them.
That's a great question. But you know what I would say to you is there's no perfect family. And I think when we blended our family and kind of just your whole view of what family should be. And I think that's what I see with a lot of people too, even with COVID-19. Oh my gosh, I had these plans and things got messed up. But it's like, no, like there's no perfect family. And the fallacy, like I actually wanted to name the book Hallmark is a Liar. Just because I thought that the movies, they paint this picture of like everyone's there and it's so lovely. And it's like, no, that's a fallacy. That's a media-driven fallacy. And I love it when families are like, oh, we have no issues. I'm like, oh, like let me
have 10 minutes with you.
Because so I just want to say, like, there's no perfection. And the moment we start trying to strive for perfection, and especially in a blended family, there's not a lot of control that you have sometimes. And that's a hard thing. So it's like you got to let that go and ask the Holy Spirit, what is right for me? What's right for us? What is our standard? Maybe not perfection, but what's our standard? We're striving for this, but if we don't hit it, that's okay, but we're at least working towards it.
Absolutely. And that's just, I love it. I love it. And you're so right. And I can't wait to talk to you more about blended families in that situation. But we are so blessed and so grateful to have Dr. Reid with us today. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with Blended Kingdom Families and Dr. Cassie Reid. You guys have a wonderful day. Be blessed, and we will see you soon. Take care.